Hi, this is Andy. Welcome to my channel.
Do you know these tables? They're folding tables or folding accent tables. They're super practical to improve spaces. I have 3 of them and one in my home studio where I record music. Yes, I am also an amateur singer. I'll leave a link to my artist page in the description below. This table will hold an old computer that I still use and this TV as a monitor. And I'm going to be applying veneer the easy way. And also, I'll be wiping lacquer, so stay tuned to see how I flip this table. I got this plywood for free at my local hardware store. If you saw my video where I restore an old school desk, I mentioned that I took them home to use them for various projects. The problem with these folding tables is that they're not long enough to hold the TV, so I need a top that is slightly longer. I'll use this table as a template to create the top. And then I'll move the table to get those extra inches that I need. Let's see if the new top will hold the TV. And yes! Perfect! With my jigsaw, I started cutting the shape of the top. And this plywood had cuts from previous projects. I'll fill them with some wood putty later. Here, I changed the tape because I needed to reduce the wood fibers on this side of the cut. I remember filming when I applied wood filler to the piece, but the footage was nowhere to be found. Anyway, I started sanding the wood putty first, and then proceeded to sand the surface. With my orbital sander, I started with 100 grit. Then moved to 120 and finally moved to 320. That will be enough to receive the glue. This veneer is from a tree called tawari. In English, it is also called trumpet tree, and is quite exotic. I still have a lot left because when I went to buy veneer, the girl at the store said, "You should take it. It is beautiful and it's on sale." So I took it. So probably you'll see me using it in more videos in the future. I'll be applying the veneer in a very simple and friendly way. I have seen videos where people use contact cement. I mean, it is faster, but it is also very likely to end up in a disaster because of how fast it is. This method is slower but safer and easier. You apply the glue, normal PVA wood glue, to the veneer with a roller. Since I will be using 2 pieces to cover the top, I'll put the glue on the sides that will be adhered to the top. You have to use enough glue to ensure good adhesion. The same method applies to the top. You spread the glue and then you must let it dry completely. It must be totally dry to the touch. While the glue was drying, I started disassembling the table. The new top will go here. I also took the chance to renew an old table that I have in my balcony with the top of this table. Now it is time to turn on our iron. It must be hot, but not terribly hot. You should not use the maximum heat. No, 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 no. There. While the iron gets hot, I'll spray paint the legs in gold because why not? If you are liking this video, please like and subscribe. That will help my channel enormously. In the description below, you will find more ways in which to help my channel. I would like to thank Virginia for buying me coffee. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. After 20 to 30 minutes, the glue is completely dry to the touch. It is time to start attaching the veneer. And as you can see, you can totally check where it is going to be before gluing it in place. Of course, you can buy self-adhesive veneer, but there are not many options of exotic wood. Here you can use any veneer you can get. When you are ready to glue the veneer, start ironing from the center. The heat will melt the glue momentarily and will stick the veneer in place. Continue pressing slowly, trying to cover every inch of the surface. This veneer tends to crack a bit, but nothing that some wood filler can't conceal. With a utility knife, cut off the excess. In my experience, doing it from below tends to be more effective. When all the excess is trimmed off, go ahead and iron once again to make everything tight, especially the borders that you have just pulled a little bit. Then proceed to hand sand the borders with 120 grit, with downward movement. This will eliminate any tiny excess and will make the border smooth. Iron as many times as you wish. You will have to repeat the process later after staining. Whenever veneer gets wet, bubbles appear, and that's normal. I'll cut some veneer stripes to cover the borders. The process is exactly the same. You apply glue, wait for it to dry, and then iron it and sand it. Some hours later, after applying some wood filler, it is time to sand the veneer. Instead of wood filler, you can apply sawdust and glue. If I were to sell this piece, I would have probably used sawdust and glue, but since it's for me, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm using different grits here to get a smooth surface. After sanding, it is a good idea to iron everything again. Anyway, you have to be checking your piece to see if it needs some more heat. I chose an oil-based stain in Colonial Maple. I'm using things I have. I'm applying it with a foam brush, and I wipe the excess with some paper towel. The glue resisted the stain quite well. There is only one bubble. You can also see some of the wood filler, but that will be definitely covered by the lacquer. After the stain has dried, it is time to reassemble the table. It is a good idea to iron those bubbles. Before lacquering, I'm lightly sanding with 320 grit to smooth everything up. I brought the old table with a new top and magic! A well-protected top. To apply lacquer you need a mixing container, something to stir the lacquer with, lacquer, some lacquer thinner, and cotton. You must take a cotton ball that feels comfortable in your hands, and then you must rub it against some textured fabric. The tote bag has some texture. You will see that the fibers of the cotton ball start to get sealed. Continue rubbing it until the ball has a sealed outer layer. Then pour some lacquer in the container. Next, add some thinner and start mixing. The lacquer must turn cloudy and get liquid. We are looking for a runny consistency. Add more thinner until you feel it is quite liquid. Like that, quite runny. Soak the cotton ball in the lacquer and start wiping it all over the surface. The sheen is spectacular. One of the advantages of lacquer is that it gets dry really fast. It takes only 5 to 10 minutes to get dry to the touch. When you finish applying each coat, put the cotton ball inside the container and wrap it up in plastic so it doesn't dry. Before each coat, sand lightly with a low grit sandpaper. In this case, I'm using 240 grit. Lacquer is self-leveling, so there will be no streaks afterwards. Only 5 minutes later, it feels quite dry. The same bubbles. I'll fix them later. But it already looks beautiful. You will see that as the cotton wool soaks the lacquer, it slides over the surface. Milo, why are you so playing. Now my last coat. If this were for a client, I would apply a total of 10 coats so as to have a mirror-like surface. But since it is for me, I just want it like this. The best way to get rid of those rebel bubbles is to heat them with a hairdryer and then apply pressure with your fingers. You shouldn't use the iron here because it can damage the lacquer. The heat, the pressure, and the weight of the lacquer will make those bubbles disappear forever. Before finishing the project, it is time to polish the piece with some car polish paste. And here it is, beautiful wood veneer and golden legs. Isn't that sexy or what? Here you can see the way I'll be using it. Gorgeous! And here are some staging options. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.